Yes, hello everybody. Thank you for having me here. Yes, as explained, I'm responsible for the TSC in Sydney. So during the night time, we take over the global support for Manroland's web customers, so newspaper and commercial customers. Blah, blah. But not only that, we also take care of our local customers in Australia and New Zealand. For example, we were heavily involved with the recommissioning in Wellington. So we'll hear a little bit more later on about that from Ricky. He will explain what happened there. Now, let's have a look at the Drupa Global Trends. There was a report a survey conducted by Drupa, and it involved suppliers and printers worldwide. Now, what were the findings of this report? Surprise, surprise, the margins are still declining and the prices fell further. But I just want to read this out. You shouldn't do that, but I do it. It is clear that the financial health of printers worldwide is dependent on ever-increasing utilization to counteract a universal drop in prices and margins. Now, Russell told us yesterday about his utilization that went up, I believe, to 80%. So I'm sure he must be quite happy that he got his utilization up. And I know from a lot of customers that are all trying to increase the utilization. So utilization seems to be the key. Well, in the past it was also, of course, utilization was important, but now with the current situation, it's ever more important that we increase the utilization. Let's have a look at our experience as the TSC. So we are in contact with our worldwide customers, and we know some of the customers we're in regular contact with, and like our customers from the UK, one of the first questions they ask is, oh, what's the weather like? So, yes. But what actually happens, so the customer calls us and reports a problem, a breakdown or something like that, and we guide them then through the problem, the fault finding, and then, for example, we ask him, can you please get a multimeter out and measure here and here, and see what's happening here if you got your voltage there. And then what we see more often happening is that the person we're talking to says, we don't have anybody on site, we have them come in. Or some customers even, we have to wait till the morning, till the electrician comes in. So what we see is less maintenance personnel around the world. But sometimes, on the other hand, what we also see is then that we're talking then to a printer, for example, and explain, get your multimeter out and measure here and here. And he does that. He takes out the multimeter. It seems that we find also people being cross-trained. So outside of the train, they learn new skills to do basic fault finding, like measuring a voltage. What we also find is that sometimes we get customers calling us, and then we put onto an employee from the maintenance department, and then he has absolutely no knowledge of the machine he's working on. He doesn't know even where the folder is or something like that. We help them, of course, we guide them through, and we help them to find the faults. But it just takes a little bit longer. So we see sometimes drops in skills, turnover of employees. And our customers are definitely seeking fastest possible solutions. So when we find the fault and the customer has the part not on site, then it needs to get to the customer as fast as possible. They want to put it on a taxi, Martin. Plain, as soon as possible. Doesn't matter the cost. Customer wants to get the machines running. I can feel that. And also, our customers are very demanding in regards to the support they get from us. So they demand a 24-hour high-quality support. And if that doesn't happen, I get an email or a phone call, and they tell me, absolutely. Yes. Now, so from the Drupa report, you see that higher press utilization seems to be the key, to increase your revenues. So what you could do, you could source additional work, which Russell told us about yesterday, that he got a lot more work on board, but that's not always possible because you don't have enough press time to put this additional work on. So you could also ramp up your speeds, but maybe that's not possible because your finishing line, your mailroom there are issues there, you cannot speed it up. Or you could reduce your unplanned downtime, your breakdowns. Or you may decide, let's reduce waste. That should give me more press time. Now, focused maintenance can help here. Focused maintenance can, for example, look up the speed of your finishing line. What's happening there? Why can we not go as fast as we want? What is holding us up? They can look at your unplanned downtime. If they focus on that and analyze the issues there, they can try to avoid them. Same with reducing your waste. So it's about targeting optimal maintenance. Let's have a look a little bit at maintenance. First of all, it's the one we all try to avoid. That's the reactive maintenance. That's when we get the urgent calls, Martin, please help. That is your unplanned breakdown. The clock is ticking. Your people are waiting. The truck is maybe waiting for the product to be delivered. So it comes at a high cost and is very disruptive to your business. To avoid reactive maintenance, what a lot of our customers do is preventive maintenance. So that's your planned stopping of a machine, maybe 1 day a week where you stop a machine. So that's not so much for the newspaper customers, more the commercial customers. Or even for you stop it for a week. That's what we do with the commercial customers. And surprise, surprise, it's 30% less expensive than reactive maintenance. For many years, we have supported our customers with preventive maintenance, especially on the commercial side. So for a long, long time, we have introduced what we call the mechanical group service. That's where we come on site with the customer and work hand in hand with the customer together. So there is basically training involved of the maintenance personnel at the same time as well. We look at barrier pretension, or in the folder we go to a regime of maintenance of the machine. They come with a big aluminium box there made with all the parts in there that may need that. That's all been developed over the years. But what we also have now, since 2 years, what we introduced is an electrical group service. And we've only been doing this maybe 2 years now. And the boys, they asked me, what are we going to do when we go to a customer? I don't know. So they made a checklist, a couple pages, a checklist to go through. Went to the first customer. They didn't have the time to go through the checklist. Amazing. They had so many issues coming up. Questions being asked, a huge success, and most of our customers are using now this electrical group service as well. So now let's take this a little bit further. Predictive maintenance. Predictive maintenance may also help you. So predictive maintenance is basically where you want to predict precise maintenance requirements. Because with preventive maintenance, you may just replace a bearing, which may last another year. And you try to avoid that a little bit with predictive maintenance. For example, what you have, you could use vibration monitoring, where you could listen to the bearings of a main drive and predict when it's about to fail, so when the time is to replace the bearing. Or what we also use with the infrared thermography, we have and by the way, this is something you do when your press is running, so no press downtime here. The infrared thermography is one we use. We have a camera, so a couple of days before we do the electric group service, we come on site and take some pictures, and that one is actually a very good example where you see a big contactor with a very hot spot. This is a fault waiting to happen. This is a breakdown, and when you can see that beforehand, you can fix it before you have your downtime. We see that quite often. And you can also look at your bearings if they're running hot. So you straight away, oh, they are running hot. So you know straight away now you need to do something there. Of course, a visual inspection is also a predictive maintenance where you look for wear and tear. Now let's have a look a little bit further. Proactive maintenance. So that's root cause analysis. So that's actually to prevent or even improve your equipment performance. Now, with a couple of customers, we have agreements. So we supply them with consumables. They buy from us our consumables, and we provide them with service. And one of our customers, we use a lot of data here. We analyzed that machine, what's happening on that machine, and we saw, all right, they had a lot of web breaks, ghost web breaks. So ghost web breaks is basically when press is stopped because of a web break. It's indicated web break. You go to the area, no web break. So we saw that there were a lot of issues there. We analyzed that, sat together as a team, and said, well, on the newer machines, we have a newer type of web break detectors, a different arrangement, and a different way in the software to handle this. We developed an upgrade, sold that to the customer, and very successfully, and we about to sell that to all relevant customers we know of would be helping. So there's actually proactive service. You want to prevent. You want to be proactive. There are continuous improvement management philosophies available, which may help as well. So as Russell explained to us yesterday, he is also always continuously improving. So here are a couple that may help. So probably a famous one like the plan, do, check, act cycle. But if you want to introduce any of those, it's very important that you have trust and communication across all levels and involve all stakeholders. Russell explained that yesterday when he explained his OH&S introduction, and that he needs everybody on board, otherwise it doesn't work. All right, now let's have a look. We want to get away from reactive maintenance. We want to get more to preventive, predictive, and proactive maintenance. That should give us more utilization opportunities. So the P's will increase your utilization opportunities. So you want to use your equipment, you want to improve your plant performance, and you want to spend your money wisely. Now, how to get there, some suggestions. Free up your maintenance staff. Well, what do I mean by that? Free up your maintenance staff. Well, your maintenance staff may be, for example, involved with your building maintenance, your air conditioning, your lighting, your compressed air. I say, please outsource, because you need to ask yourself, are you into building maintenance or are you a printer? You may say then to me, well, Martin, that's more expensive if I outsource that, but yeah, I think your focus should be improving your press performance, and your maintenance team can help you there. For this continuous improvement to work, you need, of course, to train your maintenance staff. They may be used just to reactive maintenance, so they need to be trained appropriately. From our experience, we find some employees who just don't have the skills, when they call up. So make sure they stay on top of the game. They know how to fault find in the machine. They know the drawings. They know the machine. Very important. And we get this a lot of requests from customers who actually ask us to train again and again and again. Very important. Now, let's have a look at data. This is now interesting. Oh, that's a beautiful machine. I need to show that. Yeah, well, you can see there's a real stand, printing units, and the safety guards, buttons, and switches everywhere on our machines and on all our other suppliers as well, of course. A lot of data we collect. We collect all this data why a machine is stopped, web breaks, safe stop buttons, and everything. And what we do, we developed in the TSC in Sydney, we developed our own software which analyzes this data. And it creates, every morning, it creates an email with an analysis of this data in an overview. I'll show you. And this is the data of the last 24 hours. This is a commercial printing size for machines. And it shows the last performance of the last 24 hours. And in the beginning, we called this our traffic light because it highlights straight away areas of concern, machines of concern. You see straight away that second machine there, the net output is red. What happened there the last 24 hours? So the guys get that every morning, and an attachment to that email is a PDF that's also automatically created. That shows us first a graphical overview, how the machine ran the last 24 hours. For every machine, of course, we have that. And we see straight away, all right, the machine was running at that speed and a lot of interruptions there. And then during the night time, they were running slower. Why were they running slower? I see that straight away. And I see, oh, there were no plate changes there, but there's a big gap. What happened there? So quick overview. And we have also, further down in that report, we give a 7-day overview of, so that we have a tendency where we're going with waste and net output and folder gems and such. Now, why I'm showing you this? I don't want to sell this to you. You can't have it. I don't sell it. This is just internal for us because we want to provide our technicians with a possibility to focus on the customer issues. Oops, that was the wrong button. All right, let's have a look at even more some suggestions that involve your suppliers. Your supplier can help you to improve your press performance. They have the knowledge. For us, for example, we try to be involved with every service work and installations with our customers. So we know your machines very well, and we can help and support you to improve the performance of your machines. And yes, this is a very good one. The source retain the best possible maintenance team. A good example was yesterday, Molisi. What a great employee. You want to have such employees, or the guy who works in his garage at home to improve the press performance. And Ray also mentioned the family. So if you have such a work environment, you can only win. You can only win. Cross-train, yes, we spoke a little bit about. How good would it be if you have mechanics who can also disconnect and connect the motor they're changing? Get them to learn additional skills. You may have to reward them for that. You need to work together. And of course, data. For us, data is very important. Heading the right way, let's have a look. So ask yourself, is your maintenance providing optimal performance of the production equipment? And are you able to access relevant data to be able to focus on the area of concern where you're lacking? So you need the knowledge and the data to achieve better press utilization. So don't look at the cost. Service is not cost. So let's put this together. So one possibility is some cross-training to increase utilization, data analysis. For us, we see that as a very important tool to be able to focus on areas of concern. The PPPs, the preventive, predictive, and proactive maintenance. Continuous improvement, as Russell explained us very well yesterday. And your partner and supplier. Request the help from them. They should be able to help you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Martin. That's very good. Thank you very much. Has anybody got any questions for Martin? Martin, start first. Oh, not that easy. Sorry, son. How many maintenance staff should you have per machine, do you reckon? Like, hypothetically, you've got 6 printing presses and you've got a binder that supports that. How many, what's the optimum? Can you measure that or what?
Ooh, this is a hard question.
Yeah, I've toyed with it myself.
Yes. I'm absolutely sure. It is, you need to cover all shifts, in my opinion. You need to have somebody who has the knowledge of the press, because you want to get the press up and running. So, and it depends on how good your team is.
Yeah.
And you need to account for
How do you measure that? You can measure every other bugger, can't you? How do you measure maintenance?
Well, you measure at your maintenance at looking at the outputs of your utilization machine, your breakdowns, how many breakdowns you got, and you get them to show you where they have made improvements.
So any other questions?
I have a question. May I ask what that is?
It's a sunglass holder.
A sunglass holder?
You didn't know that?
No, I
Oh,
see that.
shit.
What the hell did you put in my bag? And I opened it here, and I was looking if ink comes out. And
Want me to plug it in?
Any more questions? I thought that was very, very